Have you ever yearned to glide your fingers across the piano keys, making music that stirs the soul but didn't know where to start? Today we uncover the process of learning to play the piano, breaking it down into easy, manageable steps. First, it's essential to get familiar with the piano itself. A standard piano has 88 keys, 52 of which are white and represent the musical alphabet's 7 notes: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The remaining 36 black keys are the sharps and flats. Understanding this layout forms the bedrock of your piano journey. Next, you'll need to learn to read sheet music. This might seem daunting at first, but it becomes second nature with practice. Sheet music uses 5 lines, called a staff, to represent different pitches. The higher a note is on the staff, the higher its pitch. Symbols called clefs at the beginning of each staff line determine the range of pitches. There are many types of clefs, but as a pianist, you'll primarily use the treble clef for higher notes and the bass clef for lower ones. Now that you're familiar with the piano and can read sheet music, it's time to combine these skills. Start by playing simple scales, which are sequences of notes that ascend or descend in pitch. The C major scale is a great starting point as it uses only the white keys. Practice this until your fingers become comfortable moving across the keys. Once you've mastered scales, you can progress to chords. Chords are groups of notes played together, and they're the building blocks of most songs. Start with basic triads, which are 3-note chords, and gradually add more complexity. The final step is rhythm and timing. Music isn't just about the notes, it's also about when you play them. Use a metronome to help develop your sense of timing. Begin with slow, simple rhythms and increase the speed and complexity as your skills improve. Finally, remember that learning to play the piano is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself. Progress may be slow at times, but with consistent practice, you'll continually improve. To summarize, learning to play the piano involves understanding the layout of the piano keys, learning to read sheet music, practicing scales and chords, and developing a sense of rhythm and timing. Each of these steps builds upon the last, leading you on a rewarding journey of musical discovery. So if you've ever imagined yourself creating beautiful music at a piano, don't just dream it. Start your journey today. With these steps, you'll be well on your way to mastering this timeless instrument.
Have you ever wondered how to play beautiful music on a flute? The sweet, melodious sound of a flute can transport you to a different realm. Yet, the magic lies in the hands of the flutist. Today, we delve into the captivating world of flute playing and unravel the steps to create that enchanting melody. Imagine holding a flute. It's slender, light, and feels delicate. The first step is understanding the flute's anatomy. The head joint, the body, and the foot joint. These are the 3 parts of a flute. The head joint is where the sound begins. A small metallic lip plate is present here, the embouchure hole. This is where you'll blow air into. The body houses the keys that you will press to produce different notes. The foot joint is the smallest part and it contains additional keys for more note variations. Once familiar with the flute structure, move on to the stance. Stand straight, feet shoulder width apart. Balance the flute between the chin, the left index finger, and the right thumb. The rest of the fingers are free to dance on the keys. Now, the interesting part begins, producing your first sound. Place your lips on the embouchure hole, forming a small O shape. Blow across the hole, not into it, as if you're blowing gently across the top of a hot cup of tea. The air splits on the edge of the hole and produces a sound. Different notes, you ask? The keys are your answer. Each key represents a note. Pressing them in various combinations while blowing into the flute creates different notes. So, the melody lies at the tips of your fingers. The flute is a woodwind instrument, but it's all about breath control. Imagine your breath as the fuel for this melodic vehicle. Long, steady breaths create smooth, sustained notes. Short, quick breaths produce staccato notes, quick and detached. A beautiful melody is not just about the notes, but also about the spaces between them. This is where articulation comes in. It's the technique of tonguing, where T and D sounds are used to start and stop notes, creating a rhythmic pattern. To play beautifully, you need to play expressively. Add dynamics to your performance. Play some notes softly, others loudly. This variation in volume brings emotion to your music. To summarize, playing beautiful music on a flute involves understanding the flute structure, mastering the stance, producing sound, controlling breath, articulating notes, and finally adding dynamics to the performance. Each step is a note in the symphony of flute playing. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you play, the more familiar you'll become with your flute. And soon, you'll be creating your own beautiful melodies. So, pick up a flute, and let the music begin.